All right, so welcome back, Elaine. Nice to have you in the Zoom room. So I'll just dive into our teaching for today. Have a look at the email, and there's a quote. And just share my screen with you. I'll lead us into today's lesson. So, right, there we go. Okay, so you can read that quote for us.
If you are not guided by God, you will be guided by something or someone else.
Yeah, a guy called Eric Lidell. He was a Scottish Olympic athlete and missionary whose story was told in the classic 1981 movie Chariots of Fire. Did you ever see it?
Yes, years and years ago.
Yeah, it was
Well, yeah, 1981. Yeah, so
long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it states the simple truth that we'll be guided through life by a thought system. So the only choice you have is which thought system you'll choose to guide you through life. As Yeshua tells us over and over in A Course in Miracles, there are only two guides and two thought systems that you must choose between in every situation which you're called on to make a decision. Fear, coming from the ego, belief in separation, and love, coming from God, or in alternative language, pure formless awareness of perfect love. The remembrance of which he calls the Holy Spirit. So hence we call it the remembrance of perfect love. So I thought it might be helpful to translate the word God in today's quote into alternative language and see how that changes the quote. So you want to read that?
If you are not guided by the remembrance of perfect love, you will be guided by something or someone else.
Yeah, it's kind of stating the obvious, really. If that's not guiding you, then something else is going to be, and that something else is the ego, which remember is just your belief in separation. So the ego belief in separation speaks first and loudest in this nagging voice of a separate self that constantly seeks pleasure and avoids pain to try and satisfy its desire for more and protect itself from the perceived dangers in the threatening world it has invented. Therefore, desire and fear are two of its primary emotions that are seemingly powerful motivating forces in this world. They drive billions of people every day to work, to earn money, to buy things that they think will give them pleasure, boost their fragile self-esteem, and keep them safe. So they count for most of the world's gross domestic product. However, it should be obvious if you've ever engaged in the ego's game of pursuing satisfaction and safety from something outside you in the world you perceive as external to you, that we've all done at some point. Should be obvious that this strategy doesn't work to bring lasting happiness and peace of mind. In fact, quite the opposite, as the Buddha observed 2,300 years before concepts like GDP even existed. He noticed that desire for something more than they already had caused people endless suffering, because desire seems to confirm that you're not happy as you are right now, and you need something outside of you to be happy, setting up a self-perpetuating system of expectations and fear that your expectations won't be met, what he called craving and aversion, that will never end as long as you keep believing in it. So he called it dukkha, suffering, and he said, craving, desire is the source of that suffering. If you keep desiring, you deny your true self, and you remain in this unsatisfied state. Even if you temporarily get what you desired, it's very temporary, and then you've got to go again. So it's interesting. Did you watch Wimbledon? You watch these players playing, and then they have their speeches afterwards, and the level of emotion and attachment to the outcome. You can see it. I've watched a little bit of the women's final, and that the lady who lost. I mean, she was just, you could see she was emotionally devastated. She's crying, and it's like, instead of going, well, wow, I did really well. I got to the final of Wimbledon, which is, and I played in this great occasion. The attachment to the wanting to win is so huge that the pain is equally huge when you don't. So you set yourself up for massive disappointment and pain with these kinds of dualistic games. And if you're not attached to outcome, and you go, well, it's okay, I played, I lost that match, it doesn't really matter. So you got to ask them, why does it matter so much to win? It's just a tournament, a tennis tournament. Because you want the recognition, you want the kudos, you want people to go, oh wow, you won Wimbledon, you want to be able to say it, you see. So it all leads into speaks to the separate self, and that is fueled by that kind of craving and desire, and people will dedicate their entire lives. They'll dedicate hours and hours a day to playing something like tennis so that they can fulfill that desire. It shows you the power of the mind. And then once you've played one tournament, then it's never ending. You got to play another one and another one. And unless you're enjoying the process, if there's a genuine enjoyment in the process, then fine. You're enjoying it. But if it's just okay, another tournament, I've got to win this one, and it becomes about the outcome and about achieving. And I speak from personal experience here, because I was a professional squash player. I never played at world class level, but I was reasonably good. So I was on the kind of played some professional tournaments, and I remember what it did to my mind. I really put a lot of pressure on myself to win, and it became more about the outcome. It wasn't about the joy of playing anymore. It was like, okay, so how am I going to get into my next tournament, and how am I going to get ranking points? And obviously I want to win so that I can get myself up the ranking, and then I can play better players and better tournaments. And it's such a game. It's a mind game. I realized that after a while. And it doesn't really make me terribly happy, I have to say, at all. In fact, quite the opposite. I remember that, that deep disappointment that lady had. I remember feeling that. It was like really crushing. You're just like, okay, because I've set my expectations so high. I wanted to be the world champion, and I was nowhere close. My expectations and my level of performance were just way out of sync. There was no correlation, and so of course that caused me a lot of distress, because I'd lose to some guy who was not even close to world number one. He was like ranked 200 or something, or not even, sometimes not even ranked, world ranked. And then I go, oh well, and then the ego would beat me up and go, well, how's that going to work? What do you think you're going to be a world champion? You loser, what are you doing? Give it up, and so on. And it's that kind of mind chatter is fueled by the expectation and the desire. And when I did give it up, when I finally let go of that goal, it was the best thing I could ever have done. It was like, I'm actually free. I'm just free to play. It was so liberating. I was like, okay, I don't need to be a champion. I don't need to get world ranking points. I don't need to do any of that anymore. I'm just going to play and enjoy the game. Just as I started, when I started playing, that's how it started. Just enjoyed it. And then of course it starts getting more competitive. If you're reasonably good, as I was, it starts becoming competitive. And then, you kind of get sucked into that. You don't realize that's a slippery slope into really into a hellish state. I wasn't happy a lot of the time. Anyway, so that was my personal experience of desire and searching. So we can never really satisfy that desire, which is why we've created society like we have. So we're always seeking to satisfy our desires. You become what's called a consumer in modern economic terms. Always, so you need to consume stuff in order to try and satisfy your desire. And that's already the source of the consumptive economy that we've created, where people just consuming, using up Earth's resources, and then it doesn't satisfy us for long. So then a lot of the stuff we chuck away. So okay, well, I don't really need that. So, or it just becomes clutter in our houses. How many times have we bought something and it's shiny and new, and we go, oh, that's nice, and then actually it just becomes a white elephant, and I didn't really need it. Yeah. Yeshua makes a kind of quite a funny comment. He says, you spend all this time working to earn money and buy stuff that you don't really need. There's no real need for a lot of. There's certain basics you need: food, some shelter, few clothes. Okay, these are basic needs. But once those are met, most of it you don't need. So, or just what I'd like to have that, or I'd like to have that, and then you're living in the desire-fueled economy, which requires, of course, money to feed it. So now you have to work hard to earn the money to feed all your desires, and often the work stresses you, and so it becomes a construct of the ego that binds you into its thought system. Okay, so as Yeshua points out in this line from section 1 of chapter 2 of the text, and read that.
Illness is some form of external searching.
Yeah, so stating it very clearly, all illness is always related to an external search. So if you're searching for anything externally, there's a level of mental illness which most people don't even recognize, because they don't think that desiring stuff outside of them is bad, it makes them ill. They think it's normal. Or if you follow the ego's guidance, by constantly seeking for satisfaction outside yourself, not only will you be mentally ill, you'll also be wide open to being manipulated to make decisions that aren't really your own by clever marketers who know how to play on your desire and fear with their carefully crafted messages. Oh, there's Christine joining us.
Oh, good.
So these manipulative forces are the something or someone else Eric Lidell refers to in today's quote, your ego accepts as being part of itself, when in truth they're completely opposed to the self that God or love created or extended. Listening to the guidance of this higher self that knows it's perfect, whole, complete, and loved is what he means by being guided by God. By definition, your higher self doesn't believe in, and in fact can't even conceive of, emotions like desire and fear, because it rests in peace and contentment, complete in its own perfect being and not needing or wanting anything else. If I'm already whole, complete, and perfect, why do I want anything? So that's why it's the antithesis of desire. Can't desire anything if I already have everything. So being aware of your true self, letting this higher awareness interpret all your experiences in this world, gives you what's called an internal locus of control. Makes you field independent. So your control is within your own mind. It's really saying your attention is now primarily focused on this interior quadrant in the integral model. It's going to be upper left, someone who's got an internal locus control locus of control will have their primarily their attention focused on the upper left quadrant. Thoughts, emotions, memories, states of mind, perceptions, and immediate sensations. Their inner experience, really. That's what an internal locus of control means. Okay, so where are we? Just go back to just lost my tab. Was that one? Okay. And it also makes you what's called field independent, which is just fancy psychological terms for not caring about what other people think you should be saying or doing. And so if you have an internal locus of control, you're not controlled by externals, other people's opinions, judgments, circumstances, events. Society doesn't have the ability to then dictate what you should do. And that makes you field independent. So you're independent of the field of collective consciousness that governs most people, the ego. So another way of looking at this paradoxically, like you're field independent. So you have to separate yourself, disconnect from the ego's field. See, that's what it really means, in order to come into unity consciousness, unity awareness. So these are two the primary characteristics of anyone who's generally advanced spiritually. So legendary spiritual masters like Yeshua, the Buddha, Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, Socrates, ancient Greek philosopher, all had it in high doses, and it caused the death of two of them, Yeshua and Socrates, whose beliefs and teachings the authorities of the day found very threatening to their control of the societies in which these two masters lived. So they just decided to take them out. In Yeshua's case, it was a crucifixion, and in Socrates' case, he was offered banishment for life from Athens, or to take hemlock or poison and end his own life. So he chose the second option. So you're starting to see why the forces that seemingly control this world, large corporations and governments, are dead set against your spiritual progress, and will do everything possible to tempt you to abandon it, because they don't want you to awaken. Their power depends on your mind believing in the ego's thought system, because without your belief in the ego, just remember the belief in separation, they would have no power over you. If no one believed in the ego, their control system based on it would collapse entirely. So that's why states never been particularly spiritual, certainly not non-dual spiritual, because it threatens their power base. And you're saying there's something beyond any worldly power if you believe in A Course in Miracles. Yeah. So Workbook lesson 152 states clearly the power of decision is your own. We did it a few days ago. And you can and you must choose between the self that God created you to be and the illusion of a separate self, doomed to continuously crave satisfaction outside itself and fear that its expectations won't be fulfilled for all its dissatisfying days until it eventually dies. So why would you resist making the right choice in every situation which you're called on to make a decision? Only because you value your special separate ego identity over your true self that offers you eternal love, peace, and joy. And this is a simple choice we must all make in the end. And forgiveness or letting go of all the blocks we become aware of arising in our minds in response to people and events that show up in our lives is the way we consistently make a simple choice. So The theory is quite simple. Okay, so it's this or that, but the practice is where it can be challenging because our egos resist letting go of these blocks for dear life because the thoughts and emotions like desire and fear that constitute these blocks are their life. This is what they're made up of. Just these kinds of thoughts and emotions. So no more so-called negative, I like to say, thoughts, then no more ego. And there's no more separate identity then. And then once that's accomplished, you're enlightened. And it's game over for the ego. So our individual egos or our separate identities prefer to be enslaved in the matrix, the superego or thought system of separation is made up to imprison us than to rest in freedom, peace, and joy in the self that God or love created us to be. So there's a video, if you didn't watch it earlier this year when I posted it, 24 or 25 minutes on really the Matrix, the movies, social commentary, talking about what the Matrix is actually saying about our society. If you watched it, it's definitely worth watching again. There's some quite deep and pertinent points. Okay, so that brings us to today's session and our lesson for the day, which is lesson 155. So just going to start fresh recording. Okay, so lesson 155, which very in tune with quotes, a very similar theme. That's why I pick the quotes and the lessons to go together. So who would like to read that? Welcome, Christine, by the way. Thanks for joining. If you'd like to kick it off, read the lesson in the original and the alternative.
Hello.
For us.
Okay.
Yeah, can hear you now.
I will step back and let him lead the way. I let go and allow perfect love to lead the way.
Yeah, so stepping back really means letting go, doesn't it? I'm letting go of my own way. I'm letting go of thinking I can control and manage and manipulate and my own thoughts and emotions. And I'm willing to really let go and step back from the driver role. Just allow myself to be guided. So a lot of people might say, well, how does that actually practically look? How do I get this guidance? These are all kinds of questions one starts to have if you're considering this. All sounds a bit sort of, woo-woo, but you can only, you can only practice it and learn it experientially. So as you practice these lessons, more and more you start to listen to the guidance. So just on to first paragraph. So not much to translate there. So Christine, if you can read that in the alternative version for us, please. Okay, Christine, are you there? Can you read paragraph 1? You're muted.
There is a way of living in the world that is not here, although it seems to be. I do not change appearance, though I smile more frequently. My forehead is serene and my eyes are quiet. And the ones who walk the world as I do recognize their own. Yet those who have not yet perceived the way will recognize me also and believe that I am like them as I was before.
Yeah, so what's he saying there in summary?
To live in the world minus the ego will not change my appearance, although I might smile a little bit more and my eyes are quiet and I don't frown so much. That number 4, I don't understand what the Brahma said. The ones who walk the world as I do recognize.
You walk the world.
No, what does it mean to recognize their own?
They recognize someone who's like them. So maybe we could change that. Recognize
Their own kind.
someone. Yeah. Okay. Someone like them.
Yet
That's
those
what
who
he
have
means.
not yet perceived the way will recognize me also and believe that I am like them as I was before. So the people in the ego world will still see me as full of ego.
Well, they won't necessarily see you as anything special or out of the ordinary until they perhaps get to know you better. That's what he's saying. And recognize me also and believe that I'm like them as I was before. And once you've awoken, you can never be the same again. You can seem to be, just because someone's highly advanced spiritually doesn't mean they necessarily appear different. They usually maybe look a bit more peaceful than the average, but you wouldn't necessarily know. They're just speaking. They can still interact in the world, but the difference is they're on this path and they understand on a deeper level. And doing deep inner work that doesn't necessarily reflect externally.
Yeah.
The highest level, there's no external. The world of illusion is gone. So none of the externals matter. So people won't necessarily recognize you, but that doesn't really matter. Just saying you'll be calmer, quieter, more serene. Okay, any other thoughts on that particular paragraph?
It was very simple.
Right, happy to move on. Yeah, very, very, very simple and straightforward. So the world is an illusion. Lane, if you can read that one in the alternative, please.
The world is an illusion. Those who choose to come to it are seeking for a place where they can be illusions and avoid their own reality. Yet when they find their own reality is even here, they step back and let it lead the way. What are the choices is really mine to make. To let illusions walk ahead of truth is madness, but it is merely sanity to let illusion sink behind the truth and let this truth stand forth as what it is.
Okay, so any thoughts on that? give a little summary for us of that?
Yes, again, it's very simple. The world is an illusion. And once we allow the truth to walk ahead and let the illusions walk behind instead of the other way around, then we'll never want to look back. But it's merely sanity. Yeah, just it's finding the reality, and that will lead the way, and we would never want to go back once that's established.
Let truth stand forth as what it is. And reality, maybe capital R, maybe reality. So we find our own reality even, maybe just even in this world. So that's the real world, and they are perceiving from the Christ self, their true self. And we reinterpret the world to become the real world. When that happens, then we step back and they lead the way. Or other choice is there ready to make? This is what I'm saying. So any other sane choice, but that. And if you ask that question and answer honestly, there isn't. Okay, what else could I do? Okay, so then number 3 goes on, says this is a simple choice I make today. Christine, if you can read that.
This is the simple choice I make today. The mad illusion will return a while in evidence for those to look upon who chose to come and have not yet rejoiced to find they were mistaken in their choice. They cannot learn directly from the truth because they have denied that it is so. And so they need a teacher which perceives their madness, but which still can look beyond illusion to the simple truth in them. Even though I choose to make this positive, simple choice, the mad illusion still exists. For those who look upon those who choose to come with me, but have not yet realized the truth, they cannot learn directly from the truth because they have still denied it. So they need a teacher who can tactfully look past their madness to the simple truth in them that everyone is an extension of Source. And just reinforce those qualities, teaching them to let go of the unreal world.
Yeah, you need a teacher which perceives their madness, but still can look beyond illusion to the simple truth in them. So the Holy Spirit, remembrance of perfect love, sees the illusions, but can overlook them. So it can help us with this process of awakening because of that, because it can deal with perception. So if it was just totally abstract and couldn't do that, then we'd probably be stuck here forever, because there would be this great chasm between pure formless awareness of perfect love of God, which is just completely infinite, eternal, really unchanging and untouched by anything in the world of form. And then you have, the world of time and space that seems to be going on, and there seems to be this huge gap. The one says all this stuff is real. You've got separation everywhere. You've got multiple different people and things and events and circumstances, and you live in this universe of time and space on this planet, cycling around a star, and on it goes. And it's very complicated, this dream. Fortunately, the Holy Spirit, Remembrance of Perfect Love, can look on all of it and remind you of the simple truth that none of it's true. So it perceives the madness, but it's not taken in by it. It can overlook it, help you to connect back in with your true self or Christ, and draw down from pure formless awareness of perfect love into the Christ self, the true self. And then express that. So now the true self is connected to spirit. Your source is able to perceive. And you have true perceptions of Christ's vision, which are still perceptions, but they're corrected. There's no negativity in them. So no negative thought or emotion. Okay. So happy with number 3. Move on to 4. Lane, if you can read that. Truth demanded they give up the world in the alternative, please.
Yeah. If truth demanded that they give up the world, it would appear to them as if it asked the sacrifice of something that is real. Many have chosen to renounce the world while still believing its reality, and they have suffered from a sense of loss and have not been released accordingly. Others have chosen nothing but the world, and they have suffered from a sense of loss still deeper that they did not understand.
Okay, so what's he saying there in summary?
Well, there's 2 kinds of people. There's the ones that renounce the world, but they still haven't got it quite right, because there's a sense of loss because they're still believing in the world. And then there's those that are just completely in the world, have chosen nothing but the world, and they have suffered from a sense of loss even deeper. And they don't understand why.
Yeah. So often, people say unawakened. There's a sense of loss and devastation in the world, which I cover over with other things. Try and avoid that feeling as much as they can. But it will, if they don't resolve it by going on a spiritual path, then it will continue. So eventually, you can't help but see that this world is a world of loss and sacrifice and death. Everything dies. And you can't really rely on anything for anything permanent or eternal. But, even the people who've renounced the world still believing its reality still suffer from a sense of loss, because if we renounce the world and we believe it's real, then we feel like we're losing something, don't we? So now it seems like we're losing something valuable, and then we suffer because we think we've lost. Okay, any other thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that's clear.
All right, so number 5, Christina, if you can read that. An alternative, just as God is going to change it to pure form, so it's a perfect love down the bottom there. Otherwise, it's not much to translate.
Between these paths, there is another road that leads away from loss of every kind. The sacrifice and deprivation are both quickly left behind. This is the way appointed for me now. I walk this path as others walk, nor do I seem to be distinct from them, although I am indeed. So can I serve them while I serve myself and set their footsteps on the way that pure formless awareness of perfect love has opened up to me and then through me.
Okay, so what's he saying in this one?
I think it's making the assumption that I have chosen the higher road, which is appointed for me now. And it seems I walk the path as others do, not looking much different. But there is another road that leads away from loss of every kind, sacrifice, deprivation, both quickly left behind. Okay, so that's the path I've chosen. Sacrifice and deprivation are left behind. But can I serve those who walk beside me while choosing this path? And, well, I suppose it's alluding to this teachership that unconsciously I will be role modeling for them how to walk the way of pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Yeah. So I become the way shower, like Yeshua was for us. He shows us by example, demonstrates what life can be like, how we can live. Set their footsteps on the way that pure formless awareness of perfect love has opened up to me. Which is following our own guidance, our own path, and then inevitably we feel inspired to help others. It's a continuation of yesterday's lesson about ministers of God or teachers of perfect love. But as we accept and receive the gifts of God of pure formless awareness, so we send them. As you give, you receive. It's the same lesson, really, just repeated in different form.
By the way, I haven't been able to watch that movie, Mary Magdalene.
Okay.
On anything, so I don't know if you've got a way of accessing it.
Did you not try it on the free link I sent?
We'll send it again because it comes up with all sorts of convoluted things.
Yeah, you have to, if you go into that, it's a free site, so you have to get through all the ads. It pops up different tabs, and then you close it down, and you keep doing that. It will play eventually, but you've got to persevere a bit because it's free. That's how they fund the site. It's also on Amazon Prime and various other platforms. So you could just pay for it. I think you can get it on YouTube. I recall. Where was my email yesterday? No, this was today's. going to be yesterday, so I'll go. $119. Let's check out. So it's on Amazon Prime, it's on YouTube, it's on Apple TV. So you can watch it on YouTube. If you click that link in the email.
I mean, on YouTube, it gives lots of trailers and sick nine.
Yeah, but if you click my link, then buy or rent. See, it says buy or rent, and then you can buy or rent it. Buy or rent. And then you go and you can pay your money and you can watch it.
No, I won't pay money to watch it. I want it free.
Well, then you've got to navigate through the ad blockers and stuff, which I did put a link here. You recall there. All right. So if you click that link, and this is in yesterday's email, that'll take you into the website. Oh.
Which the link on the picture.
Yes. And there it is. And then,
I did that, I couldn't get there.
so there it is. And then you've got to, when you try and, as I've said, you've got to go through, you might have to go through a capture form and you click it a number of times and then it's closed the other pages. Well, if you don't want to pay, that's what you have to put up with, I'm afraid. Those are the options, but there, it's all in yesterday's email. So you click on there, that's free. Click on YouTube, Amazon Prime, or Apple TV, and you pay. It's £2.49. It's about 50 rand. It's not that big a deal. That means you don't have to then deal with any of the ads and stuff. So up to you. Anyway, let's get back to our lesson. Okay, so between these paths, there's another road. We've done that one. So it's really saying, I can help others as I serve myself. As I walk this path back to God, back to pure formless oneness and perfect love, I serve others and I serve myself at the same time. And I'm learning my lessons by extending. And when I extend the love that I'm trying to learn, then I learn that it's always there and that I can't lose it. So, as I give, I receive. So one of the major lessons of this course. Okay. So number 7, all roads will lead to this one in the end. Elaine, if you can read that. Elaine, you still there?
Sorry, I'm speaking out loud and I've got it on mute. I do apologize. I'll start again. Right. All roads will lead to this one in the end. For sacrifice and deprivation are paths that lead nowhere, choices for defeat, and aims that will remain impossible. All this steps back at truth as truth comes forth in me to lead my companions from the ways of death and to set them on the way to happiness. Their suffering is only illusion, yet they need a guide to lead them out of it, for they mistake illusion for the truth.
Okay, so thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so it's back down to the suffering of the illusion, and all roads will lead us to this truth in the end. So we may as well do it now, because if you continue on the other road, then it's sacrifice, deprivation, leading you nowhere. So we need to guide our companions to lead them out of the mistake of illusion to the truth.
Oh, well said. On their way to happiness. Let's just change that. They need a guide to lead them out of it, for the mistake illusion for the truth. So that guide is the Holy Spirit, remembrance of perfect love. Christine, if you want to read number 8.
Such is awakening's call and nothing more. It asks that I accept the truth and let go before me. Let it go before me, lighting up the path of ransom from illusion.
Maybe we should change that. Accept any changes there. A ransom of the price. So a ransom is, what you pay. Typically, a ransom would be like someone's done a kidnapping or something, and then you have to pay the ransom in order to free them. So that's what he's referring to. Path of let's see, freedom would work. It's not a freedom from illusion. Well, maybe that's clearer than ransom. What do you think? Prefer it? Freedom, and then it's not a freedom with a price.
There is no cost, but only gain. Illusion can only seem to hold in chains the wholly aware extension of pure formless awareness. He is freed only from illusions. As they are released, I find myself again.
So perfect love over there. I find myself again. Maybe we can make this capital self. Find myself, capital self again. So he's saying freedom is there. So it's there for our taking. Can seem to hold us in prison, but actually it's not. I just need to accept the truth and only the truth. And do that by letting go of illusions, because they're mutually incompatible. As I let go of them, I find myself again. Okay, so any other thoughts on number 8? Find myself again. And number 9. Right. You can read that.
Yeah. I walk safely now, yet carefully, because this path is new to me, and I may find that I'm tempted still to walk ahead of truth and let illusions be my guide. My wholly aware companions have been given me to follow in my footsteps as I walk with certainty of purpose to the truth. It goes before me now, so that they may see something with which they can identify, something they understand to lead the way.
Yeah, what's he saying there?
Well, if
Summary?
we walk, yes, we walk safely now, but carefully, because this is all new to us. And we will be tempted to walk ahead of truth and let the illusions be our guide again. And it's about our innocent companions. They've been given to us to also follow in our footsteps as we walk with certainty of purpose to this truth. So they'll be able to see that truth in me, and they'll be able to identify with it, and they'll be able to understand, to lead the way also.
Hmm. And they see something with which they can identify, maybe perceive would be better. And they may perceive something which they can identify, something they understand to lead the way. So we're seeking for some guidance. Everyone's looking for guidance in this world, aren't they? A way out, a way to find happiness, a way to find peace.
Yeah.
People don't always know that that's what they want, but always a search for happiness and peace. We're looking for that way, and we need something, we can understand. So if someone shows up like a Yeshua, he shows us by his example very clearly that this is a way, then he is inevitably going to get followers, because there's many people who don't know the way.
Follow by example.
Yeah. But,
My friend,
lead by example.
yeah, I think that's how it came to me, actually watching my friend Linda. Yeah. Even though I know she's still got a bit of ego in her, of course, but certainly she was a good example.
Yeah, and then that inspired you to, is that how you got into the course?
Yep, it was.
Yeah, you saw her example and you went, wow, okay, so it's working for her, and you probably chatted to her a bit and told you about it, and you thought, well, this sounds like it could work for me as well.
Yeah.
And so that's how it goes, by example and seeing other people walking the path, we start realizing that we can do it too. It's feasible for us to do that too, if we want to.
Well, we all want to be like Jesus, don't we? And
well, not everyone does. No, not everyone does, but
well,
if you're smart, you do, because he
I
was
mean, on the group.
he was,
I meant on the group. Most of us on the group, I should say.
He was a happy, genuinely peaceful man who managed to overcome all illusions, and he's now free. In the
nice.
He hasn't returned to a human form. His mind is free, one with God's, and he's now teaching.
Well, we don't really want his end, of course, because obviously it was pretty horrible.
No, well, fortunately, he says you don't have to do that. He said that was my own unique contribution to the sonship, so I don't expect you to be literally crucified. And fortunately, they don't really do that these days. It's all gone completely barbaric. So he did it as a demonstration of the thought system that he stood for at the highest level, in the most extreme temptation, that he demonstrated that you can still follow it. Okay, so any other thoughts on paragraph 9?
No, it's clear.
Number 10, 15, here at the journey's ending, there will be no gap.
We tap the journey's ending, there will be no gap, no distance between truth and me. And all illusions walking in the way I traveled will be gone from me as well, with nothing left to keep the truth apart from perfect love's completion, as wholly aware as itself. I step back in faith and let truth lead the way. I do not know where I go, but one that knows goes with me. Let it lead me with the rest.
Oh, so what's he saying? What's he saying there?
I will be one with truth and remembrance of perfect love goes with me, leading the way with the rest of my companions. Illusions have gone, and there's nothing left to keep the truth away from perfect love's completion. I am innocent. I let go and step back in faith and let truth lead the way.
I let it lead me. Let it lead me with the rest. So I let it lead me with the rest. So it's a call to surrender. Saying I don't really know. I don't know the way, but I do know that there's a presence that does know the way. So I can let go of my way, my thoughts, my attempts to control my life, and allow and trust that I will be guided and I will be shown. It's a very very much a call to surrender.
Number 3, I let go and step back in faith.
Yeah, I let go. I'm spotted. I let go and step back in faith. Step back in faith and allow truth.
Lead the way.
So that I don't know where I go. So I don't know that state yet. Knowledge is still going to be revealed. So it feels a bit scary and a bit unknown. But there's this comforting presence with us that does know. That's the Holy Spirit, remembrance of perfect love. So saying, let it go and trust that presence, trust that voice alone. And it will give you the thoughts and the words and the actions you need to guide you forward on your journey. But you must let go of your own thoughts, words, and emotions to allow that process to happen. Call to surrender, call to trust, call to faith, which he's doing over and over. There's these last few lessons about really letting go and surrendering to this guidance and trusting that it will do it. It will work through us. We become done through. Okay, so number 12. I think there's a bit of translation there, so read it in the original and then translate it as we go.
Yeah. We walk to God. I can't see. Is it we walk to pure formless awareness of perfect love?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Pause and reflect on this. Could any way be holier or more deserving of your effect, of your love, and of your full intent?
So I pause and reflect on this.
Could any way be more wholly aware or more deserving of my effort, of my love and my full intent? Next one on the alternative, shall I? No.
Yeah.
What way could give me more than everything or offer less and still content the wholly aware extension of pure formless awareness?
So that's the Holy Son of God. No, it's the
Yeah.
Holy Son of God is the innocent extension of perfect love. And we walk to God, so we walk to
Pure formless awareness of perfect love. The truth that walks before me now,
and we go to
we go to pure formless awareness of perfect love. The truth that walks before me now is one with it and leads us to where it has always been. What way except this could be a path that I could choose instead?
yeah. So what's he saying there? Questions, a lot of questions, right?
Well, we walk to pure formless awareness of love, and we pause and reflect on this and realize that this wholly aware moment is bless you, is deserving of our efforts, and to give love and my full intent on this. And what could give us more than everything and offer less and still content thee? So yeah, it's everything. So we make our way to the pure formless awareness, and truth goes with us right now. And it'll lead us to where we've always been.
In what way? I like his question. He's saying, what way? These questions really make us consider what way could give me more than everything, or offer less and still content. That is an extension of perfect love. It's saying you're settling for less. Could any way be more wholly aware, more deserving, more? Could any way be holier? Could any way purer, maybe? Could any way be purer? Is that a word? Or more pure?
More pure.
Yeah. Could any way be more pure or more deserving? More pure or deserving of my effort, my love, and my full intent. So it's saying, ask yourself these questions. Is there really another way? And you'll see that there's not. And once you've determined that, then it becomes obvious. And once you accept his teaching, say, well, there is no other way, then your path becomes obvious. Okay, there's only one way then. There's no other way. It's only this way that he's giving me. So let me follow this way. And then I surrender. Then I follow the path. And I stop trying to do it myself. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that, on number 12?
No, it's clear.
Very clear. These lessons are very
Yes.
clear. A little bit simpler than the text, but when you break the text down, it's very clear. So it's not rocket science. None of this. It's actually quite a very simple teaching. And he goes over it, and he uses these words and language just to go take us through a process of spending time with this material to help us awaken. Okay, so number 13 then. Christine, if you can read that. So a little bit of stuff going on there, just the world of God and God's Son. So it becomes pure formless awareness of perfect love and perfect love's extension. Those are the only key translations. So read in the alternative if you can.
My feet are safely set upon the road that leads the world to pure formless awareness of perfect love. I do not look to ways that seem to lead me elsewhere.
And I there.
Dreams are not a worthy guide for me, who is perfect love's intention.
No, who am. I am. Who would be a placement for I, yeah? Me, who am. So I am perfect love's extension, not I is. Because it's in first person, it's am. Okay.
Meaning I.
Yeah, well, if you put an I in there, that tells you how it should sound, right?
Oh, okay.
If you put I is, then it would be incorrect grammar.
I do not forget that pure formless awareness, perfect love, has placed its hand in mine and given me my companions in its trust, that I am worthy of its trust in me. It cannot be deceived. Its trust has made my pathway certain and my goals secure. I will not fail my companions or myself.
Yeah.
It's just a consolidation of the facts that I now am safely set on this pathway to pure formless awareness of perfect love, and will not be distracted. Anything, dreams. Do not forget that I'm being led by pure formless awareness of perfect love, who has put my companions in my trust because I am worthy. I cannot deceive it. And my pathway is certain and my goal secure. I won't fail my companions or myself.
Capital self. Oh, so it's a really feel good lesson. He's just encouraging us, saying you can't really fail. You're on the path. Just trust that there's guidance, that you'll be shown the way. Just be willing to let go of your own way. That's the hardest thing for us. The idea that we're not really in control. The ego doesn't like that. So it's a simple lesson, but to actually do it, I will step back and let him lead the way. It means I'm no longer in charge of my life. And all that the prerogative I kept for myself as a separate self to take charge of my life, to make decisions. I have to renounce that. Say, well, I don't really know what I'm doing, because I'm deciding from a point of view of separation, which is false. So everything, my life up to this point is completely false, because it's based on a false idea. I don't even know who I am. It's quite humbling, isn't it? I don't even know who I am. To realize that at 70 odd, in your case, right? I don't really know who I am. And then to be humble enough to say, okay, yeah, I accept that. But I'm willing to be shown. I'm willing to be shown who I am, and guided along this path to reveal that true self more and more. That's takes true humility and a lot of courage. Well, you've got to let go of that old self concept, which has been with you for 70 plus years. Any thoughts on that?
No.
All right, so number 14, I think this is the last one, and it'll take us into meditation. So Elaine, if you can do the honors in the alternative form for us, kindly.
And now, pure formless awareness of perfect love, ask only that I think of it a while each day, that it may speak to me and tell me of its love, reminding me how great its trust, how limitless its love. In my name and its own, which are the same, I practice gladly with the thought today, I will step back and let love lead the way, or I choose to walk along the road to pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Choose to walk along the road, choose to maybe follow the path, might be quite nice. It's just a spiritual path. Follow the path to pure formless awareness, perfect love. Yeah, so what's he saying there?
Well, now if we just a little while each day, follow pure formless awareness of perfect love, so that it may speak to us and tell us of love, and reminding us of how its trust is limitless. It's all love. And so, my identity and its identity are the same. So today we want to practice gladly. And we'll step back and just let love lead the way.
Because I choose to follow the path to the ultimate goal, which is pure formless awareness of perfect love. And it will show me this remembrance. The Holy Spirit is the memory of this ultimate state, which guides us in our dream world here, which is hugely valuable. Without that, we would be lost forever. But with that, we have a sure and trusty guide that's going to guide us step by step, moment by moment, through a sequence of miracles that your mind can't comprehend how that's all possible, how it all works, and how it all fits together. But you don't have to. You just have to accept that by the grace of God, It's there. You can and you will. That's really what he's saying, isn't it? You can and you will do this, which is quite inspiring. Okay, so any other thoughts on this one? And what we can do very quickly is just haven't quite got there. Do a little summary. Where are we? It's all there. Okay, so summarize above in under 250 words. See what this gives us. It's quite long, isn't it? Make that a bit shorter. Summarize the above in, say it again, under 250 words. Oh, it's still quite long. Okay, see how many paragraphs is that? Okay, so let's paste it in here. Okay, so the summary, to read that through quickly, it's a few paragraphs. Just make sure it's all okay. Sometimes it needs a bit of editing. The world itself is an illusion.
So who's
Christine, you want to read?
Christine? Yeah.
I think it's Christine's turn now.
Yeah.
I can't see the top.
I walk a path in this world. Yeah, if I read it
I
from
walk
there.
a path in this world that transcends appearances and illusions. My serene presence and quiet eyes reflect a different way of being, and those who resonate with this path recognize themselves in me. Even those who haven't awakened can sense the difference and feel drawn to it.
Okay.
The world itself is
Change
an
that.
illusion, and those who seek solace in it are avoiding their own reality. Yet when they realize their reality is here, they step back and let it guide them. I make the simple choice to let truth shine forth and illusions fade away.
Okay.
Some struggle with renouncing the world while still believing in its reality, leading to a sense of loss. Others fully embrace the world, but experience an even deeper sense of loss they don't understand. However, there is a path that leads away from loss and sacrifice. On this path, I can serve others while serving myself, leading them towards pure, formless awareness of perfect love revealed to me.
Okay. Any thoughts on any of that? Anything different from the lesson? It's just a sort of concise summary of the key points, really.
It's good.
Yeah, it does pretty good job of summarizing, doesn't it? To put that
the illusions
let's ask just pause. Let's ask Elaine if she wants to read. Elaine, do you want to read the last couple paragraphs?
Yeah.
Well, so illusions.
Through illusions may cling to me, they have stepped back. I speak not of illusions, but of the truth that walks ahead of me. All roads ultimately lead to this truth. Sacrifice and deprivation lead nowhere. They are choices for defeat and unattainable aims. As truth emerges within me, I guide my companions away from suffering, helping them see beyond illusions.
Okay. Illusions may cling to me, they've stepped back. I do speak of illusions. I do not speak of illusions. Truth that walks ahead of me. Truth that emerges within me, I guide my companions away from suffering, helping them see beyond illusion. Okay, their journey is a call to awakening.
Shall I read that? Or
Next,
Christine?
Christine's gone.
Oh, Christine's gone.
Hmm.
This journey is a call to awakening, accepting and following the truth. There is no cost, only gain. Illusions cannot hold the wholly aware extension of pure formless awareness captive. As illusions dissolve, I rediscover myself. I walk with certainty, and through the path is new. I have trusted companions who believed in me, just as pure formless awareness of perfect love trusts in me.
Okay, so I'm just going to change the first one. The journey is a call to accept and follow the truth to truth in order to awaken. No cost, only gain. There's no cost in doing this, but only gain. Because can hold the wholly aware extension of pure form somewhere as captive. Wholly aware extension, perfect love. Captive. And we make it innocent. Innocent extension. As illusions dissolve, I rediscover myself, capital self, maybe. Walk with certainty. Journey with certainty through, though the path is new, I've trusted companions who believe in me. Just as pure formless awareness of perfect love trusts in me. Okay, so all about faith and trust, dissolving illusions, accepting the truth. Just a couple more to go. Are these summaries helpful? Right?
Oh, yes.
Do
Yeah.
you read them?
Oh, I think so. Yes, I do most of the time.
Oh, that's good. Okay, no, just checking, because I'm adding the, but it's not, as you've seen, it's not that big a deal to do them, because once you've done the main
Yeah, just put it in a more
translation.
simple
Yeah,
language. Yeah, it's
you
good.
just stick it in the name. You've got a translation in our alternative language that you can, if someone really wants to, okay, let's cut to the chase. I just want to read a page. Well, okay, there you go. You've got, less than a page probably of, all right. So where were we? When you certainty at the journey's end, there is no separation.
Uh-huh. At the journey's end, there's no separation between truth and me. Illusions vanish completely, and the truth is fully realized. We walk together toward the pure formless awareness of perfect love, a path deserving of my love and effort. I am not swayed by other paths, for they offer less and cannot fulfill the extension of pure formless awareness within me. Other paths mean the ego's paths.
Yeah.
So obviously we all have different ways to get to pure formless awareness. But yeah, is that what it means? I'm not swayed by
I'm not swayed by the paths. So the ego's always got an alternative. Say, follow me. It seems to be an alternative, but say I'm not going to be tempted. I'm not swayed. I'm not tempted, maybe. Tempted by other paths. No, I'd say this, the same thing for spiritual path. There are many spiritual paths. There are many.
Yes. Hundreds.
Many ways, hundreds, maybe even thousands. Probably thousands on the planet. So there's many ways, and all of them lead to God in the end. I mean, Yeshua says in introduction, some part of the course. I don't remember exactly. I think it might be clarification of terms. They all lead to God in the end. But what he's saying is this is the quickest way. He's giving us this teaching and this methodology of radical forgiveness, because he's saying this is the fast track. This is the quickest way. If you have a dualistic path, it's going to take you a very, very, very long time to awaken. And you'll eventually realize that path is not the truth. It might take you some way down the path. So all these spiritual paths have some connection with truth. There's some awareness of something else, right? It's a spiritual path because there's an awareness of some other reality.
Yeah,
but very few paths are pure non-dual paths. They say, well, actually, it's this reality of the world, which is an illusion, or another reality, which is completely different from this one. It's totally transcendent. It's infinite. It's eternal, and you can't even conceive of it anymore. We've forgotten it. And that's other transcendent reality is really the philosophy, the perennial philosophy, it's called, behind all these spiritual paths. So that they share, but then the way to get there and their attitude towards it. Some people say, well, yes, there's that, but then somehow this illusion is also real, and both are real. You've kind of got to live in both worlds. So that's quite a common sort of compromise approach to this really problem. It's a conundrum, the human condition. Well, why, if God is perfect love, do we have a world where there's so much that's not love, so much pain and suffering, sickness and death? Why is that the case? You can't really answer that within the framework of the ego, because it doesn't make sense. God created the world, and then God God is love, God created the world, then what you're really saying is that God is not love, because this is not a loving world. So the explanation is that God didn't create this world, and therefore it's an illusion. Therefore it's not real, even though it seems to be real. That's the only way out of the paradox, which is what he's training us here to recognize. Okay, there's really only one way. There's truth and there's illusion, and radical forgiveness just applies the truth. It holds to the truth and it completely drops the illusions. Okay, so all right. Cannot fulfill the extension of perfect love. Cannot fulfill me, maybe, as sometimes it needs a bit of translation, but generally it's pretty good. Okay, so last one. I follow.
I follow a secure path leading the world to pure formless awareness of perfect love. I am not deceived by dreams or distractions. Pure formless awareness of perfect love guides me, and I think of it daily, reminded of its limitless love and trust. In my name and its own, I affirm, I step back and let love lead the way, choosing to walk the road to pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Go and let perfect love. I go and allow perfect love to lead the way. Choosing to walk the road. I would walk along the road to him. Values taught today. Choose to follow the path. Choose to follow the game. So what am I doing? Doing that. And then what I'm doing is just saying summarize the key message of the above, and 50 words, and then it just gives you like the key takeaway. Is that helpful? So you've got it in just
Summary. Yeah.
Well, it's like a more detailed summary that's a bit longer, and then you've got the absolute. Okay, so what is the key essence if I was going to boil it down to this 30-second elevator pitch, what is this section saying? And so all of this is about learning it and really going, okay, actually it's quite simple. If I boil it down to the key message, it's a very simple message, isn't it?
Yeah.
Key message is to choose the path, truth over illusion. Lead others towards awakening. Let perfect love guide. My every step towards whole. Experiencing, maybe. Your form of someone is the perfect love. Ultimately experiencing only pure formless someone is perfect love. To lead myself to let me just change that around. To let perfect love guide me by every step towards ultimate experiencing only pure formless someone is perfect love. By my example, maybe. Lead others to awaken. Others to awaken. Lead others to awaken as well. Okay, do you want to read that? Key messages to choose.
The key message is to choose the path of truth over illusion, to let perfect love guide my every step towards ultimately experiencing only pure formless awareness of perfect love. And by my example, lead others to awaken as well.
Choose, by my example, lead others. Lead others to awaken as well. By my example. Okay, so very key. I must do it myself by surrendering, and by my example, I'll help others to awaken.
Mm.
That's the key message. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the discussion. Do you want to do a meditation on this, Lynn?
Yeah.
All right. So making yourself comfortable. Sitting with your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale, so it's a maximal inhale breath. Scan your mind, notice any thoughts, emotions, body sensations going on, particularly anything that feels negative, difficult in any way, contracting, constricting, challenging for you. And you can just let it go. Then exhale, just blow it all out with the breeze of your breath. And nothingness that it really is. It's going, gone. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And you rest in this deep peace and stillness. For a few moments, you're just going to allow these words to drop in. I'm going to read you the summary of this lesson and the key message. Allow these words to drop in to this empty, calm, spacious awareness, just breathing normally in and out through your nose. So you're just going to watch your breath, breathing in as I speak the words, and then as I pause, you exhale out through your nose and you speak them as affirmations of the truth. So that they really go in on a deeper level, and you speak them, much more likely to deeply understand. So breathing in, I walk a path in this world that transcends appearances and illusions. And exhale out through your nose and speak those words, conviction. And breathing in again. My serene presence, as you breathe in again, my serene presence and quiet eyes reflect a different way of being. And those who resonate with this path recognize themselves in me. Breathing in again. Even those who haven't awakened can sense the difference and feel drawn to it. Carry on breathing, this nice, deep, slow, rhythmical pattern. Breathing in as I pause. Those who resonate with this path recognize themselves in me. Even those who haven't awakened can sense the difference. and feel drawn to it. Breathing in through the nose, pause, hold the breath. The world itself is an illusion. And those who seek solace in it are avoiding their own reality. Those who seek comfort, perhaps might be a better word, comfort in it, are avoiding their own reality. Yet, when they realize their reality is here, they step back and let it guide them. And so make the simple choice. So I make the simple choice to let truth shine forth and illusions fade away. Remember to inhale as I speak and exhale as you speak the words. So breathing in again through the nose. Some struggle with renouncing the world while still believing in its reality. This leads to a sense of loss. Others fully embrace the world and experience an even deeper sense of loss. They don't understand. Breathing in again. Others fully embrace the world. Experience an even deeper sense of loss they don't understand. However, there is a path that leads me completely away from loss and sacrifice of any kind. On this path, I can serve others while serving myself. Leading them away, leading them toward their formless awareness of perfect love. That has been revealed to me. Breathing in again through the nose. So though illusions may cling to me, I have stepped back. I do not speak of illusions, but of the truth that walks ahead of me. All roads ultimately lead to this truth. Sacrifice and deprivation lead nowhere. There are choices for defeat and unattainable aims. As truth emerges within me, I guide my companions away from suffering, helping them perceive beyond illusion. Breathing in again. This journey is a call to accept and follow the truth in order to awaken. There is no cost in doing this, but only gain. Illusions cannot hold the instant extension of perfect love captive. As illusions dissolve, I rediscover myself, capital Self. I journey with certainty. And though the path is new to me, I've trusted companions. I walk it. Trusted companions who believe in me, believe in who I really am, just as pure, formless awareness of perfect love trusts me. Breathing in again. Hold the breath briefly as you listen to these words, and then as you speak them, you exhale out through your nose. So breathe in. As the journey's end, there is no separation between truth and me. As I am it and it is me, illusions vanish completely. Illusions vanish completely, and I fully realize the truth. We walk together toward your formless awareness of perfect love. Path deserving of my dedicated time and effort. I am not tempted by other paths, for they offer less and cannot fulfill me as an extension of perfect love. Breathing in again, I follow a secure path in the world to pure formless awareness of perfect love. I'm not deceived by dreams or distractions. Your formless awareness, love guides me. And I think of it daily. And I'm reminded of its limitless love and trust. In me. And my name or true identity and its own. And so I affirm, I let go, breathe in as you do this. I let go and allow perfect love to lead the way. I choose to follow the path to pure formless awareness of perfect love. Breathe in, it's pure formless awareness into every pore, every cell, every muscle, your body, every fiber of your being. And exhale, have a sense of letting go, surrendering, let go, and you let God. And blow it all away with the breeze of your breath, the nothingness that it really is. And the key message is that I must choose the path of truth over illusion. To let perfect love guide my every step towards ultimately experiencing only pure formless awareness, perfect love. And lead others to awaken as well. I'm my example. I do it and I help other people to do it. And I just have to step back. I just have to stop trying to do things my own way. Allow myself to be guided. So just stay in this connected state, this deep peace, certainty. I'm telling you that you just have to step back. Let love lead the way. You'll be guided wherever seeming problems. Wherever seeming problems you have, they're not real. So you just let them all go and sink inwards, deeper and deeper. Each breath into the inner stillness, the pure formless awareness of perfect love that this lesson points to. Maybe you can catch a glimpse of that in your experience for the next minute or two of deep silence. You've taken a great stride towards your ultimate release from this world to heaven, which is the state of pure formless awareness. And just for the next couple of minutes, breathe, relax. Breathing out and out through your nose, relax, be still, and just surrender. There's nothing you have to do, nowhere else you have to go, just follow the process of awakening. So surrender to that process, experience of it for the next couple of minutes in deep contemplative silence. And so just gently coming back. from this deep connected state to an awareness of the body and the breath, senses, and the world. And then on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. And you pause at the top of the inhale, smile. Just around observing what's going on in your body. You breathe in, maximal inhale breath, scan your mind, notice any thoughts, emotions, body sensations going on, particularly anything that feels negative, of love, limiting, contracted, constricting in any way, shape, or form. You just recognize that and then blow it out, let go, and allow perfect love to lead the way. I choose to follow the path to pure formless awareness of perfect love. So it is. Exhale on the count of 2. Notice how the air flows out. Your mouth, chest, and the stomach suck back in. Letting it all go. Nothingness that it really is. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. So just be aware of the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Aware of what you're touching and feeling. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, smell in your nose. Notice that as you breathe in. Notice what you're hearing. So whatever sounds are there, just allow them without resistance, no judgment. And so you become aware that this awareness, this pure formless awareness, perfect love is always there, underlying all your sense perceptions, never goes away, always there for you. It means that it is your true reality. This is your true self, your true reality, which can never change. On the count of 3, open your eyes. Just look around for a minute. Ground yourself back into the sensory world, noticing what you're seeing. From this deeper state of awareness, pure formless awareness that underlies all your perceptions is still there. Close your eyes briefly for a couple of seconds, then select it. Just allow it to come into your perception. Notice the piece that underlies it. Move your eyes around. So look at something else. Notice the piece still there, whatever you're looking at, and do that for say half a dozen objects. And you notice that it's all the same underlying awareness, same deeper awareness. Is always there. And this is your goal. So you're going to stay rooted in that awareness for the rest of the afternoon and evening. To help you do that, practice today's lesson frequently. Yesha recommends doing it ideally every hour. breath break I've sent you, or follow the instructions in the Telegram message or email. You can follow to reconnect, tap in again to this pure formless awareness of perfect love, into the power of the lesson, to change your state, to help you find peace and happiness in a crazy world. So I wish you good luck with that. Good practicing, and namaste. This means the true self from me acknowledging honors that same self in you. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and the first part of today's session. So Elaine, if you'd like to, we can carry on and do some of the
Text.
But,
Yes, I do like to do the text. However, I've got some chores to do now. I do have some chores to do. So
okay.
I don't know what your time schedule is like.
Do it later?
It would be better for me, yes. Yeah.
I've got a one-on-one
Right.
with Kim.
Yeah.
In is it at 7 o'clock? So that's in 3 hours. So I don't have that much time. So I need to wrap it up. And so could take an hour's break if you want, and then do the text. Probably it's 8 paragraphs. It probably takes a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Want to do that?
Right. Yeah.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. No, I'm finished now. Right. Yep. So I'll see you at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Namaste.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Okay. Bye. Namaste.
Bye. Namaste.
Bye for now. All right. So anyone listening, join us at 5 p.m. for the text. If you'd like to do that, I'll post it on the group. If you're not part of this and you'd like to join, just look below. I put a link, and you can join us for our next masterclass to find out more about this program and how you can join in these live sessions if you'd like to. Thanks. Hope to catch you on the inside, and namaste, which means the divine